Good evening, race fans, and happy Super Speedway night to you all. Welcome to the Dre Broadcasting Network as we bring you live coverage from Talladega Super Speedway with the Cyber Racing Association. This is the Cyber Racing Association Acrylic Art Super Truck Series, and tonight we bring you points race number 4. I am your commentator Sean Zulu, and I am joined by Dwayne, Cooper, and Dave Everly behind the cameras. How are you doing tonight, Dwayne?
I'm doing pretty good, bud. We look to have a lot of fun here in Talladega. You know, it's a nice, beautiful day. It's 78 degrees. Track temp's at 103. So with this open setup, let's see how many people taped it up, and we're gonna have to take them off the first round. And we got wind out of the north at 2 miles per hour. It's a big, wide track, so we should see a lot of 3-wide action.
Oh yeah, and the driver I expect to see on the high side a lot tonight is Sean Boundy, because he does love that high sideline and that track temp. Once again, like you had mentioned, 103 degrees Fahrenheit. That is going to make things very, very interesting tonight. And these guys have a 50% fuel limit. That is 50%. So we should expect to see a lot of green flag pit stops tonight so they can be able to make it all the way, because last week we did see a lot of green flag pit stops. And as usual, they do have only one backup truck as well.
Yeah, and last week we seen some of them try to stretch it, and that fuel didn't work out for them, you know, so they'll have to keep that in mind tonight when they're going down that pit road. How much fuel, if they get enough of it piled in there, or if they can make it to the end or whatever. But, you know, and Bounty, you talk about Sean likes that hindsight, but he's going to have to find a new dancing partner tonight. Is his normal teammate is down in Barbados with his feet kicked in some sand, drinking a cocktail.
Oh, 10-4, Dwayne. That's going to be interesting to see how he does. But, you know, with his driving style, I'm pretty sure anyone is going to be more than willing to work with him on the high sideline. And also, speaking of last week, we had the 3 of Rodney Woodford bring it home. And then 89 of Matthew Quick was the driver who stretched it the most, because he did talk about stretching the fuel limit. And Matthew Quick unfortunately ran out of gas on the last lap. Exiting turn 4, he got overtaken by the race leaders. And he brought it down to the 3 of Rodney Woodford, who came out in first place. And there was a battle for second place between the 20 of Derek Walker and the 9 of Kenny Holderman. But it gave it to the 20 of Derek Walker. So the 9 of Holderman finished in third place. And Kenny Holderman is last season's champion. And in fourth place was the 81 of Mark Jorgensen Jr. We should expect to see this driver up front every single race, because he's been a heavy contender. He did come in late last season, but he was up there. And the 90 of Dana Osborne came out in 5th place. And also, I do have the current season standings in front of me. I have the 3 of Rodney Woodford in first place. He went all the way. Last week he was in third place, and now he's all the way up in first place, leading the points. Matthew wasn't bumped down to second place from first place. Roger Buff is 71, third place in points. And Roger Buff was in second place, so he did get bumped down. 3 of Woodford did jump up 2 spots in one race. We did have a tie for 4th place between the 81 of Mark Jorgensen Jr. and the 90 of Dana Osborne. And the 5 of Thomas Labar is currently 5th in points starting this race. And right now we do have 2 minutes remaining here until qualifying ends. And so far, Dwayne, we have the 89 of Matthew Quick on the pole.
Yeah, and I think this is the first time in 2 seasons that we've actually seen the second round of open qualifying change the top order. Here we had Rodney actually knocked off the 88 of Mark Vega, and now it looks like the teammates of Matt Quick and Raymond Rittenauer has knocked Rodney down to the number 3 spot. So we're going to have teammates on the front row right now if something doesn't change in the next couple of minutes.
Oh yeah, and yeah, you did mention the 88 of Vega was knocked off the pole, and he went suddenly from first place down all the way into 10th place as we speak. But that shouldn't discourage him, because he is an amazing driver. Didn't have the best of luck last season, but we hope for the best from him this season, so things can change. And also, 87 of Raymond Rittenauer is second place, and Raymond Rittenauer is a post sponsor. So because everyone else is just number 2, that is Raymond Rittenauer. Well, Dwayne, we're going to see some amazing racing tonight. Just like you said, the track temp is very, very high, so it's going to call for a lot of different strategies on these guys' parts, and we should expect to see a lot of different pit strategies as well, as usual.
Yeah, we should see the Dark Horse guys usually go in early ahead of everybody else, and we need to pay attention and see if everybody else has finally caught up to them and decided that that's a good idea. We've seen some guys try to stay out and stretch it, and so far it hasn't worked out for them. the cautions hasn't fell in the right spot. So tonight we'll see if they decide to go down early too with Dark Horse, or if they want to stay out there on their own.
Oh yeah, and also last week we had a lot of a few incidents going down pit entrance, Dwayne. So it just shows how difficult or how crucial pit entrance is, going from 200 plus miles an hour exiting turn 4 down to 60 miles an hour in less than, I don't know, 3 seconds.
Yeah, you know, and a lot of these guys, they run in leagues and they run in official races where they don't get that green flag pit stop practice in, and they come out here and just practice for 40 minutes and qualify and don't even think about it. But, you know, you can win it and lose it going in and off pit road. So, you know, that's one of the things you got to practice too, just like drafting and everything else.
Oh, absolutely, Dwayne. And also just, I mean, that just goes to show how it takes just more than putting a foot down to the floor. These super speedways, it takes more than that, because these guys, yeah, they do have to go down pit road, exit nice and smooth. And the good thing about it, when they're aggressive on entrance, they do make up a lot of time on the exit if they have a good exit as well. But if they do go way too hot and don't make it, that's usually a bad day.
Yeah, and usually what catches them is they go in too hot and then they hit that commitment cone at the end, and when you do that, you just might as well take 4 tires and sit there and relax, because you're going to serve that penalty.
Oh yeah, that 15-second penalty is not the prettiest, because these things are going 200 plus miles an hour. So it's just a couple of seconds, or it's just a matter of seconds before you end up going 1 or 2 laps down. And after that, you're most likely going to be exiting pit road on your own, which is another no-no.
Yeah, you definitely at a super speedway, you don't want to be called out there by yourself at any part of the track, much less trying to get up to speed coming off pit lane. So, you know, you need to make sure you have a dance partner with you, and that's the whole point of having teams, so that you can get in chat with them and tell them when you're going down and make that choice to go down together.
Oh yeah, teamwork is very, very key. And also the driver from last season, the 23 of Bernard Persson, does not seem to be in tonight's race, unfortunately. But he did mention that last season he did not have a dancing partner, but he was still able to finish in second place in points. But this season his best, or his biggest goal was for him to get a teammate. So we should expect to see, hopefully he did manage to find a teammate. But right now, Dwayne, we do have these guys on the grid, so we should give them a few seconds to finish gridding up before we get down that order. But so far the 89 of Quick is still occupying the pole.
Yep, we got the Dingleberry Motorsports sitting on the front row with Matt Quick and Raymond Rittenhauer the second. So, you know, they're going to lead this to the green flag here, and they're going to dictate how this race starts, whether they go side by side or they team up and control the single line.
It looks like it's about time we go down that list. We do have the 89 of Matthew Quick once again on the pole, and to his right is his teammate, the 87 of Raymond Rittenauer. The 3 of Rodney Wolford starting in 3rd place, 2nd place in the bottom lane, and the 66 of Bobby Tinch in 4th place. 2nd place on the outside, the 18 of Gary Champion in 5th place at the moment.
And then starting 6th, rolling off, one of the chase eligible drivers already locked himself in, Roger Bluff. Starting behind him, on the side of him, is number 99 and Christopher Berry, and Dan Harrington from Indiana will be starting 8th. Gary Sheldon is rolling off 9th, and Mark Vega, Mr. Bad Luck, is rolling off in the 10th spot.
The 96 of Jason Rudebush in 11th place, the 54 of Chris Akers in 12th, 08 of Gregory Thompson in 13th place, the 98 of Jeff Figlin in 14th, and the 13 of Jason Kinzer in 15th.
And we have in 16th, 76 of Gene Chisholm, and the number 9, Kenny Hold'em, and all the way from Indiana, and his mama's basement. Number 81, Mark Jurgensen, a roll off in 18th spot. The 19th spot goes to Sawyer Ott, and Mr. Highside himself, wall hanger 34, Sean Bounty, is rolling off 20th.
And the 5 of Thomas Labar in 21st, the 90 of Dana Osborne in 22nd place, the 93 of Eric Wortley in 23rd, 73 of Mark Brown in 24th, and the 58 of James Peterson in 25th.
And the last one to qualify and put a time on the board, the number 25 of Roger Stewart, will be in the 26th spot. not posting the time and choosing to start at the back of the field, it'd be the 43 of David Anderson, the number 1 of Artie Peterson Jr., and Mr. Speedway himself, Rod Remus Sr. Well, and then we have 20 of Derek Walker, who's had some bad luck the last couple of weeks, will roll off in the 30th spot.
We have the 4 of Justin Levine 31st, 77 of Travis Stewart in 32nd, 97 of Jeremy Funk in 33rd, and the 24 of Kevin Tesmar in 34th. So we only have 34 drivers in tonight's race, but going back up front, these guys ready to go green for the first time, this time by 80 miles an hour behind the pace car, because it's going to be a long way to go, Dwayne, 60 laps.
Yep, they better grab them seatbelts and buckle up, Buttercup, because it's fixing to get real.
As they do exit turn 4, Dwayne Cooper, do us the honor of bringing us the green flag.
Well, we're going to ride with the 89 of the Squatty Potty sponsored Chevrolet, as he's going to roll out there and wait on that pace car to go out and wait on that green flag. In this series, they must wait on the green flag to be flown. Once it goes, then they can nail the gas. He's bringing them down the front stretch past the red, and there it is. Green flag is out, and the 89 has Rodney already pushing him from behind as the 87 is trying to pull that outside line.
In the 87 of Raymond Rittenauer did have a bad start a little. He was caught sleeping, but the 66 of Bobby Tinch was right on him. He's like, it's okay, buddy, you made a mistake, I'll correct it. And the 18 of Gary Champion right now currently 3rd place in the bottom lane, pushing the 3 of Rodney Woodford past the 87 of Raymond Rittenauer.
Yeah, it looks like that outside line had somebody decide they want to drop back, and that kind of hurt the 87 on the outside, as he's now back 3 cars from the front row on the bottom, but 89 is still holding them tight down at the bottom.
Yeah, and Dwayne, throughout this entire race, we're going to see a lot of drivers deciding to just be in the back for the first half of that race. But just like we have seen in all these other races, Dwayne, as these laps go down, we're going to see those drivers starting in last place coming up to the front.
And there it is, Rodney Wolford just come over the radio and told him I want off the bottom, but in all reality, you know, Rodney Wolford does not want to be behind a non-teammate of the 89, Matthew Quick there. But Matt's still pulling that bottom side around a little bit and going to try to put a little bit of distance between him and Rodney on the outside.
Yeah, right now, Dwayne, these guys are just pretty much pushing, but 87 Raymond Rittenauer does seem to be backing it down, not wanting to push the 3 of Wolford just yet. It just might be too early, or maybe that track temp is too high. He's trying to be safe.
Yeah, you know, this is the first time he's had a truck in front of him, so, you know, Rodney jumping up in front of him might have cut that air off, and he might have realized, oh, I put too much tape on my truck.
Oh yeah, if you have too much tape, you do overheat way sooner and are more likely to blow it up. And actually, it requires a lot more cooling when you have a higher tape compared to other drivers out there. But by the looks of it, these guys still just pretty much riding the 18 of Gary Champion, tapping that apron quite a bit on the inside line, but trying his best to stay off of it, is controlling that bottom lane. And Dwayne, this pack depends on the 18 of Gary Champion and the 87 of Raymond Rittenauer, because they are the ones pushing the leaders of these lanes.
Yeah, it does, and you know, it's hard when you're in there and you're up on the back end of somebody. All you can see is their spoiler and their tail lights. You can't see that yellow line, and that's what Gary's finding out, is that Matt's not giving him much down on the bottom. Matt needs to slide up a little bit when he goes into the corner so that Gary can make his turn and spot that yellow line, because that yellow line will eat these trucks up and spin them.
Oh yeah, 200 miles an hour, the apron is never your friend. That usually does cause the big ones, but yeah, these guys playing it safe. And also looking further back in the pack, the 90 of Dana Osborne, 3 wide to the 54 of Chris Akers, who's trying to go to the back as we speak.
Yeah, we see the guys now trying to rotate toward the back, and they're trying to run a smart race, but you know, that can bite you, Sean. We've seen it where we've had one caution in this series, and you know, the guys just can't get back up there because the green flags will separate them out of there.
Oh, absolutely, Dwayne. And so last week we did have a lot of green flag runs, and those guys were lucky enough to catch up to the field, because we ended up having like just 1 or 2 cautions that did bunch up the field. So usually, Dwayne, these guys just depend on those cautions, but if they don't come out, sorry.
Yeah, and I see the 66 jumping out of high side there. That's got to be totally because he got hot. There's no other reason he would be jumping out right now. He doesn't have the momentum to get around the 87. So he's trying to get him some clean air there, and In the process, he's picked up another one to push him toward the front.
Oh yeah, 3 wide they go, and Dwayne, for that 3 wide to succeed, they do need that side jump, and so far just taking it easy. The 71 of Roger Buff is looking a little bit lower. He's forcing the 66 of Tinch down to the middle lane. They're gonna go 3 wide. Net code happens. They're gonna wreck it during turn 4. Asan Raymond Rittenhouse has been infected by that caution. Their caution is out. Let's see who else was involved in that.
Yeah, looks like Vega got up behind him and kind of got to 87 right about the time he ended up going in that corner, spinning him down.
And that didn't affect the 743 of David Anderson. The 87 of Rittenauer once again. The 99 of Chris Berry almost hits that wall, but was able to slam on those brakes and avoid it. Let's see who else that might have been involved. And there on replay, let's focus on the 87 of Raymond Rittenauer, just so we can see what happened from his point of view.
Yeah, you know, it's bad luck, but they just happened to spin down at one of the perfect spots on the track if you're going to do it, where they were down low. If they would have went high, they probably would have took out half the field with that.
Oh yeah, we're lucky that the wreck happened just the way it did, and that was bad. It was a bad netcode that happened because those two trucks were nowhere near each other. And it was a 99 of Christopher Berry and the 87 of Raymond Rittenauer, who did have a lot of room in between them, but it ended up spinning the 87 of Rittenauer sideways, and that did cause the 82 of Harrington did not have anywhere to go and had no choice but to slam into the trucks that were going sideways.
Yep, and we see all the leaders heading down pit road now as Matthew Quick is pulling them on down there. And let's see if somebody wants to go, because we're only 6 laps in. Maybe somebody wants to decide to take just 2 tires or 4. Matthew Quick overshot his pits there. That's going to cost him a little bit of time, as we see Dana Osborne coming off the pit lane already.
Yeah, Dana Osborne comes out of pit road in first. Let me see what his pit time was compared to everybody else.
You know, I think Matt might just be okay with dropping to the back because he's still on pit road and his teammate is right behind him. So I think he might just be dropping to the back to help out him because, you know, Bobby Tension at 66 only took 3.5 seconds to get in there. So that's a fuel only stop there. While Matt's still been in for 21 seconds, now 34 seconds.
Oh yeah, he's absolutely just staying back to try and put his teammate, and if he does go a lap down, his teammate, that is 89 of or 87 of Raymond Rittenauer, Dwayne, I'm pretty sure he's gonna try and get his lap back the hard way by racing for that lucky dog.
Yep, he's gonna be trying to get that lap back up there and get back in there, but I mean they still got a lot to go on here. You know, and we got the 93 of Eric Wadley from Long Island, New York. He must have been caught up in that. He's down pit lane and already a lap behind.
Oh yeah, and that truck is not looking pretty at all. Heavy damage on that front end and the rear spoiler as well, and that truck is not running. So at the moment he might be towing, or maybe he blew his motor. But these guys do have one backup truck, so they're lucky enough that they're gonna still be able to stay competitive once we go green for the second time.
Yeah, it's a shame for Eric. He hasn't been able to race with us much because of work, but he's out there now and he's got a lot of fans in the chat watching him. So hopefully he can get it fixed, he can get his laps back and get back out there and contend for the lead.
And also watching one of the other drivers who has some damage, that's the 13 of Jason Kinzer. The spoiler in the end, in the back, is not looking too pretty, and neither is that hood. On my end, I can see those front tires through the hood. That's not a good thing. At Super Speedway, Dwayne, they do need that top end.
You know, and here we go again with this, Sean. We've seen this the last couple of weeks now where guys would stay out on the first pit around. And, you know, we got the 71 Roger Bluff, 88 of Mark Vega, and 16 of Gary Sheldon decided to stay out. They didn't pit. And that's hurt the last group in the last 2 weeks that we've seen doing that this early in the race. It throws them off on their green flag runs.
Oh, it absolutely does. So these guys do really hope for those cautions to come out, and when they do not, that usually results in a bad day for them. Like last week, when it did go green until the very end, And those guys who decided to stay out and try and stretch it did not have the best of luck. And even though the 89 of Acrylic was almost able to pull it off, he did not quite get it.
Yeah, I mean, what we've been seeing the last couple of weeks in the series is an early caution like this, and then it's pretty much green flag toward the end when the guys really start trying to work and moving themselves forward. So we get down to around lap 50 before our next one goes, and you know, these guys puts them out of sequence. It's going to put you at least a lap down if you pit now, you know, and I don't understand. You should have went ahead and went in and took at least gas only so you stay even with them. They only have 9 gallons of gas.
And right now the pace car does dip off. We do have the 71 of Roger Buff in the lead with the 88 of Vega side by side. Within the green flag flies, they all put it down. The 3 of Woolford already in the back. Remember the 88 of Vega with 16 of Gary Showdon. Caught sleeping quite a bit, but has a successful Bobby Tinch right behind him, able to get him back up there. These guys still shifting into 4th gear into turns number 1.
Yep, and the 88 got a good run on the outside with the 3 pushing him, but Mark's going to have to ease it back a little bit as that bottom line is being pulled by the 71 of Roger Bluff, who is already in the chases, so he's just running for bragging rights.
And the 98 of Jeff Bigland, 3rd place on the outside behind the 3 of Wolford. Came all the way from 14th place and is now in 5th place as of the last restart we just had right there. And he does with the 96 of Jason Rudebush behind him.
Yep, and we just got word that the 93 truck is done for the race, which is a shame. You know, I guess he'll go drink him some Long Island teas. But I hated that for Eric. He didn't want to run, and he finally was able to get out here and run with us tonight and didn't make it past lap 6.
Yeah, that's very unfortunate. Hopefully he has a better race next week at Daytona 2007, the bumpy track. That should be an amazing race.
Yeah, that's really going to let these guys, that's when you got to put an egg between your foot and the throttle and play with it. Look at the fourth truck on the high side there. That's Sean Downey. I guarantee you he's fixing to take it 3 wide and try to pull somebody around with him on that high side.
Oh yeah, his best bet is for the 5 of Thomas Labar, who is behind him to follow him up there. But I don't think Thomas is the type of driver who's been aggressive early on. Well, 3 wide is not really aggressive, but it's just the way you see it. But I'm pretty sure Thomas Labar at the moment is just trying to ride.
Yeah, but you know what? Thomas is hungry. He's been here in the 2nd season in the series here, and Thomas has been improving each week, and he's looking for a win. So if Downey's going to go, I guarantee he goes, because Talladega is wide enough to go 4 trucks without a problem around there.
Oh, and he most likely will be pulling out here shortly because that outside line is starting to get bunched up. It is being led by the 3 of Rod Newford, who, nope, he's not clear of the inside, so he has no choice but to stay high with the 98 of Jeff Bigland, who is running his back bumper. The inside line is being led by the 88 of Vega with the help of the 71 of Roger Buff.
And you know, that's probably Rodney's best deal. Just stay on the outside there, let the teammates of the 98 and the 96 push him a little while, because if he drops down in front of Vega, then they're going to let off that gas, roll out of it, and they're going to take their underdog motorsports trucks and go right back around him.
Oh yeah, that is a very good spot that he's in. Won't lose too much right now. His best bet, yeah, just like you said, is to keep the 3 of Woolford up there by pushing the 88 of Vega and making sure that he is not clear of him. But once he starts overheating, it's going to be a different story.
Sean, I hate to cut you off, but you see what happened? Look at that. Downey went out there and Thomas went in. Jeff Bigland says, ooh, Downey likes the wall. I want to go with him.
And that leaves the 3 of Woolford on the middle lane, but Simona Buff jumps up to block that middle lane or get in front of the 3 of Woolford. They're going to stay 3 wide. The 88 of Mark A. Vega is the odd man out.
Yeah, I don't understand that. He hung his teammate out to get up there in front of him. I guess he didn't realize that that 3rd line was forming up there, because he kind of left Vega sliding back. Now, and Vega is going to lose a lot of spots because of being dumped by his teammate.
And so Roger Buff right now struggling to keep up with these guys. He doesn't have anyone pushing him for a while. The 96 of Rudebush and the 3 of Woolford pushing each other. The 96 of Rudebush goes down to the bottom lane. The 3 of Woolford is going to stay in the middle lane. Nobody jumps down to the bottom lane.
Now, you know, Sean, that's communicating there, because the 96 is teammate of the 98. And when the 96 jumped down there to the bottom, the 98 tried to swim all the way down and pick him up. So that's exactly what you got to do. You got to get back with your teammates, get out, get that fresh air, get that truck cooled down, and then team back up with your teammate. But that the high line there was working perfect. Downey and them kind of got hung out because Jeff Figlin decided he wanted to go low side on the whole thing and pick up his teammate. But Rodney Wolford is out there by himself. He has no other dark horse teammates around him. So, and you see, nobody wants to be around him. I would swear he's got an STD or something.
And right now the outside line just died. The 5 of Thomas Labar has been left out to dry on the outside line, dropping very, very quickly at a very, very fast rate as we speak. Is anyone gonna let him in? Let's see. Yes, he catches the break in behind. Looks like the 08 of Gregory Thompson.
Yeah, and Dave, if you can get back toward the middle of the pack and show everybody watching how these guys are running in the middle, the second and third group. They're not really running on the bottom, and that's from what happens with an open setup. If you set your truck up right, you don't want to be on the bottom because you're going to eat them tires up. So if they're in the back and they're single file, they're going to run up in the middle and the outside line because that's going to save tires, which means when they go down the pit road, they don't need to take 4 tires.
Oh, we got some more 3 wide going on up front. We do have the 71 of Roger Buff jumping the outside of the 34 of Sean Bounty on his rear end. The 3 of Rodney Wolford left out to dry in the middle lane, but he does have the 1 of Artie Pedersen Jr. right behind him, helping him keep up with these guys and not fall back at a very, very fast rate. Right now the inside is being led by the 98 of Figlin, who does have the 96 of Ritterbusch right behind him.
Yeah, and that 71 truck, that's what I was talking about. He's in the chase. He's locked in. So him and Rodney both are in there, and Roger is just going for the win. So he can play a little harder because he's not really worried about the points. He's going to be locked in, and he is going to race for the championship.
Yeah, right now he's trying to help the 34 of Sean Bounty, but Sean Bounty has overheated and has no choice but to dump him and drop down to the middle lane. And that does leave the 71 of Buff on the outside line, dropping like a rock as we speak. Big wreck in turn 3. Let's see what's involved. That caution is out as they continue wrecking. This time by 16 of Bobby Tinch and the 16 of Gary Sheldon got together. And that did give the 5 of Thomas Labar and the 73 of Mark Brown some contact as well. The 4 of Justin Levine and the 99 of Justin Berry. The 76 of Gene Collum. The 58 of James Peterson, and the 43 of David Anderson, 89 of Matthew Quick, 82 of Daniel Harrington. That was the biggest one yet.
Yeah, it looks like a lot of them are still wrecking back here and trying to, get through it instead of slowing down. But yeah, that was a big wreck right there. That's what happens when you pack racing, when you're in the middle and you get wrecked.
And on replay, Dave, let's focus on the 16 of Gary Sheldon so we can get a perfect view.
Yep, and Derek Walker got clipped trying to go to it.
Oh yeah, by the looks of it, the 16 of Gary Sheldon, his truck just washed up entering turns number 3, and that did cause him to go up the track and collect the 43 of David Anderson. That was very unfortunate for all those drivers involved in that.
Yeah, it looks like some of them was trying to squeeze through there and not slow down for the caution, and they ended up wrecking them.
And right now we have the 3 of Rodney Wolford going down pit road, leading the entire pack down pit road. But I think we do have a couple of drivers staying out. And that's going to be the 08 of Gregory Thompson. Looks like Gregory Thompson might have blown up because that engine is not making any noise.
Yeah, that kind of going to shuffle some things around quite a bit here.
And Dave, let's run on the in car of the 08 of Thompson just so we can make sure he makes it to pit road. I mean, to his pit stall.
Yeah, I still see some guys that just banged and banged on their trucks, but they didn't really fix it all the way. So hopefully they're good enough to be out there and not have damage.
Oh, yep, the 08 of Gregory Thompson. Dwayne was fortunately able to make it down to his pit stall. That thing is roaring again. Back to life. 4 tires on this pit stop and a full tank of gas.
Yeah, and we're hearing on the radio the 16 said he blinked and accidentally got into him, so that's just pack racing, guys.
Oh, absolutely, Dwayne, it definitely does happen. So, racing incidents. Actually, right now, let's try to get a race interview in with the 125 of Ron Ronimus Sr., currently being shown in 2nd place after starting all the way back in 29th place. Excuse me as I try and locate the 125 of Ron Ronimus Sr. Unfortunately, I'm not able to locate the 125 of Rod Ronimus, but we are going to interview the next driver in line, and that's the 34 of Sean Boundy. Get a cup there, Sean?
Yeah, I got you loud and clear.
How you doing tonight, Mr. Namesake?
Not too bad. We just had a little mess up with some team orders during qualifying to start 18th. Absolutely nothing to worry about. Put a little less tape on the truck to get through traffic, and just been slowly riding our way through the front. That was a pretty calm day.
Oh, 10-4, Sean. And Sean, you do really love that high sideline. We did see you attempt to make a few passes. Tell us, how is the truck feeling on the high side at the moment?
It's really good. I felt really fast up there. There's a lot of room up there right now, and I kept making some runs, and some guys would get in front of me, and you'd expect that. They want some runs too. So it kind of depends on when I'm pushing one guy versus another. You know how their setup's going, especially with this the open setup format. But I'll probably do that a little bit more throughout the day. It's one of the few places you can pass when everybody's 2x2 all the way through the field. So it looks like we're going, getting ready to go green here pretty soon. So I hope you guys enjoy the race.
10-4, Sean. Well, look forward to seeing you up there on the 3rd lane, and good luck to you, buddy.
Thank you.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that was the 34 of Sean Bounty, but right now we are exiting turn 4, going green, this time by being led by the 3 of Rodney Wooford. He does have the 34 of Sean Bounty right beside him with the 125 of Rod Ronimus Sr., 2nd place on the bottom lane. 71 Roger Buff, 2nd place on the outside in 4th place. And the pace car is off.
Got Sean Bounty on the outside there. He's going to be helping pull him up there, and hopefully he can get Roger Bluff to do a little pushing there to get him past. But Rod Arenas down on the bottom now. He's a newcomer, so to the league, but not to racing. He can race. So let's see if Vega stays with him. Looks like he got a bad restart there.
Yeah, that restart did bunch up the field there. The outside line was caught sleeping quite a bit, going further back, all the way from the 1 of Artie Pedersen back. Everyone was, there's quite the gap in between the 1 and the 71 of Roger Buffer. These guys starting to get bunched up once again. The 88 of Vega going to the outside line, dumping the 125 of Rod Ronimus Sr., trying to get some action. The 3 of Wooford, actually that's the 34 of Sean Boundy, clear of the inside, decides to stay high with 71 of Buff. Nope, he goes down to the bottom lane. He leaves the 71 of Buff on the outside.
Yeah, we just heard over the scanner, Roger said, take it if you want it, and Sean, sure enough, went down and took it. So that just helps Roger out because he's on the outside now with clean air, so he can keep that truck nice and cool.
Oh, and by the looks of it, we have one driver who's pointed that nose towards pit road, downshifting as we speak. Let's see if I can get a number on that truck. That was, we have the 5 of Thomas Labar exiting pit road. That was
Thomas
82.
was caught up in that, and he's 3 laps down now, so he can come out and just try to pick up the back of the field and hopefully get enough lucky dogs to get him back up in there.
And also the driver who was going down pit road is the 82, or was, well, is the 82 of Daniel Harrington. And Dwayne, I'm pretty sure that is not a scheduled pit stop.
No, I'm sure it's not. I'm showing that he's pulled it behind the wall right now, so he may end up having some issues.
And going back up front, we have a battle between the 2 leaders, the 34 of Boundy and the 71 of Buff. But right now the outside line is starting to propel the 88 of Vega, trying to push the 71 of Buff past the 34 of Boundy. But then the 3 of Wooford is right on his rear end. The 125 Rod Ronimus Sr. is just pretty much keeping his gap, being able to see that yellow line to avoid tapping it, and just pretty much staying in that draft, keeping the 3 of Wooford behind the 34 of Bounty at the same time, staying out of trouble.
Yeah, you know, and Sean, I'm looking there. Sean's got a couple guys hanging out in his pit that, you know, saw you off to number 30, but he's not near up in front to be able to help him. So the only ones that really have anybody that can help is the 88 and 71 of Roger Bluff and Mark Vega, as they can work that outside. But it don't seem that they got the engine to be able to pull that outside line quite well.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure maybe it just comes down to those setups and the top end of these things and how quick they do overheat. So these guys are most likely overheating quicker than they can imagine, or quicker than they can, or faster, I should say, faster than they can keep up with it.
Yeah, we got some issue with Artie kind of sliding up there a little bit in the one truck and almost got taken out by the number 9 of Kenny Holderman, last season's champion.
Oh, and Dwayne, most likely might just come down to what you talked about, those setups. These guys do have different setups, and some trucks are loose while others are tight, and others do require a lot more wheel input compared to others, depending on how the setup is.
Yeah, and if you pay attention, third, fourth, fifth truck back on that outside line, that's all Dorkwood. So if they can get up there to the 3 truck, we'd liable to see a 4 truck breakaway once they hook all up and start taking off.
So looking further back in the pack, we have the 98 of Jeff Bigland, keeping a gap in between him and the main pack. He does have the 43 of David Anderson, who goes to the outside because the 98 of Figland is backing off to maintain the gap in between him and the lead pack.
Yeah, they were caught up in that earlier race, so, you know, they're in that earlier wreck, so they're going to be back there just riding smart. They don't have another truck to be able to pull off the hauler, and the 88 got hotted. Notice how he's dropping back on that 3rd lane up there.
He was fortunate enough to get in line behind the 81 of Mark Jorgensen Jr. Mark Jorgensen Jr. right now, he did start in 18th place and is currently being shown here in 10th place behind the 90 of Dana Osborne.
Well, we know Kenny Holderman's an aggressive driver, and the one truck of Artie, I don't know if he just didn't take enough tires or what, but he is sliding in that outside line, which he shouldn't be doing right now. And when he's going to leave it open, and watch how quick that 9 is going to fill that middle up.
And that one of Artie all over the rear end of the 71 of Buff. They both clear the inside of the 34 of Bounty and drop down, entering turn 3.
And that, oh, got Jorgensen spinning in the back there. No caution yet.
They're back up onto the track, but the caution does not fly. It stays green. Everybody behind that had to back it down. 76 of Gene Collum headed down pit road, this time by.
Yeah, we got the 71 and the 1. Leading that bottom line, we got Sean Bounty pulling up on the 9 truck.
Well, Dwayne, the after effects of that little bit of an incident, that was almost a wreck, did cause the guys behind it to slow down a lot, which really caused that lead pack to even pull away even more. Right now, we have the 16 of Gary Sheldon and the 25 of Roger Stewart leading these 2 packs, and they are trying to get up to speed, pushing about 180 miles an hour and climbing.
Yeah, it looked like 71 got hung out down there on the bottom. They're dropping way back off of him, and the Dark Horse is bringing the whole outside.
Yeah, that 34 of Sean Bounty has nobody else to push him on the bottom lane, and it's just losing position left and right to the outside line guys. And the outside is being led by the 9 of Kenny Holderman, the 90 of Osborne, the 3 of Wooford, and also looks like the 73 of Mark Brown.
Yeah, and that almost got nasty up front as the 90 truck of Dana Osborne dropped down to the bottom. He might be following, but he kind of got sucked up to his outside. So we got 2 on the bottom. Whoa, and they bumping. Oh no, up front, and there goes Dark Horse hitting on each other and spinning and wrecking. That will bring out the yellow.
Oh, that involved the 90 of Dana Osborne, the 71 of Roger Buff, the 3 of Rodney Wooford, the 88 of Mark A. Vega, the 1 of Artie Peterson Jr. And by the looks of it, that also might have been bad net code. Let's focus on the 3 of Rodney Wooford on replay so we can see what happened.
Yeah, from looking at it, it looks like the 90 kind of tapped the 9 a little bit, which spoiled his truck, and I raced and said, hey, wait a minute, you're too close, I'm going to spin you.
And Dwayne, the good thing was for those guys who were behind that almost near incident, or that almost near caution that we had, those guys who had to check up and were, I believe, 10 to 20 seconds behind the lead pack, were all able to avoid that.
Well, I tell you who the winner in all that is the 125. Is he hadn't pitted since, you know, it's been 21 laps since he pitted, so he was about to go in there.
Yeah, and this is definitely going to change the strategies in these guys' races. And currently we are being shown with a 9 of Kenny Holderman behind the pace car. Is he going to pit this time? Let's see. And the 9 of Holderman decides to stay out, but 71 of Roger Buff leads everybody down pit road. And we do have the 29 of Matthew Ozen back in the chat, rooting on his teammate out there. Good to see you, Matt.
Yeah, Matt, I hope you're enjoying putting your toes down in there.
And that we do have the 16 of Gary Sheldon in second place, currently being shown in second place behind the 9 of Kenny Holderman. 76 of Gene Column is behind the 9 of Holderman, trying to get that lap back. And he's being shown in 27th, 1 lap down.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the 9 will think about staying out. Maybe he can go down just a little bit later and be able to stretch it out, you know, because everybody else went down but him in the 16 truck of Gary Sheldon.
Oh, yeah, that could be a good stretch. At the same time, it could be a bad one, but maybe he's going to be lucky enough, just like the 125 of Rod Ronimus, that caution coming out. But if it ends up not coming out, he will be short on gas, and most likely his tires will be worn.
Yep, and a lot of guys ended up having to check up for that, so they're going to use a lot of their quick repairs right here.
And ladies and gentlemen, we are going to interview the 16 of Gary Sheldon, just so we can check in and see how he's doing. Unfortunately, I was not able to locate the 16 of Gary Sheldon, but we are going to interview the 1 of Artie Pedersen Jr. Instead. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we do have the 1 of Artie Pedersen Jr. up here. Let's get a cop there, Artie.
Yeah, 10-4.
How you doing tonight, buddy?
Hanging in, buddy. My mom's birthday tonight. I got a late start. I didn't get to qualify.
Oh, copy that, Artie. And that hasn't stopped you from being up front whatsoever, because you did start in 28th place and are currently in second place behind the 16 of Gary Sheldon, who is our race leader. And Artie, so far it does seem as though you have your hands full. You've been going 3 wide and 2 wide and trying to push everyone that you could so far. But how's your race going at the moment?
Well, the truck feels really good. I got a couple teammates out here. They asked me to help them out and join them, and we're working really well together these last couple weeks.
Oh, 10-4, Artie. I am glad to hear that. And Artie, what should we expect from you by the end of tonight's race, buddy?
Well, I just joined this league the end of last season, my first league. It's only about my 6th race, and I want to win one of these things.
Oh, copy that. Sounds like a plan there, Artie. And Artie, what do you have in mind for pit strategy? Or maybe you can discuss that. It can be a mystery if you want.
Well, I can't tell you everything, but we do have a strategy.
10-4, that's good enough for me right there, Artie. Well, Artie, we do wish you the best of luck, buddy. Make us proud as usual, and good luck.
I'm trying. Let's go Rangers.
Well, ladies and gentlemen,
Artie was in the 28 spot. He's already up to the 2nd spot, so he's done some movement to get up in there tonight.
Oh yeah, gained 26 spots overall. And right now we are back to 1 to green. He did mention he did not qualify, and he does have teammates out there that he's been working with all season long and have been working well together. So that's going to be very interesting to see who his teammates are.
And you notice Kenny stayed out there, and then he went down, took that 9 truck down, and he pitted and was on there 12 seconds. So he had 12.9 seconds. So that's 4 tires right there and filled it up. I think Kenny is clear to go to the end from here.
Oh yeah, it could be the case. And Dwayne, that was probably just his strategy, trying to stay out 1 lap, and maybe him pitting in that late was him trying to go to the back.
Well, yeah, his teammates are back there, but he also wants to be out there, except for Jorgensen. Jorgensen's on the outside and the front there. You know, and I got to say one thing before we forget about it. Roger Bluff from Georgia asked that we make sure that the race and all glory goes to God.
Oh, that is very, very nicely said. As right now we do come into turns number 3 and 4, being led by the 16 of Gary Sheldon, who did decide to stay out. He has the most laps on his tires, 14 laps, while everyone else has less than 5 laps on theirs. He has the one of Artie Pedersen side by side with him, the 34 of Bounty on the bottom, 2nd place behind him, and the 81 of Mark Jorgensen Jr., 2nd place on the outside in 4th place. Well, Dwayne, take it away.
Yeah, we're waiting on the pace car to drop off there, and everybody's closing him back up. Artie's on the outside, and Artie hasn't had to use a new truck yet, so we'll see with Gary Sheldon bringing them to the green flag here. Flag's up in the air, and it is down, and they are off and away. Everybody's staying pretty much in line. One goes wide with the 81 pushing him hard.
And they do have that the 4 of Justin Levine trying to catch up to them. Looks like he was caught sleeping quite a little bit. But the 13 of Jason Kinzer is right behind him, able to help him catch up to the 81 of Jorgensen Jr. But these guys still getting up to speed. And this is only lap number 32 of a 60-lap race.
You got to remember, Gary Sheldon's on 15 lap older tires than everybody else here, so he is holding that bottom, and he's trying to keep Sean pushing him, but that outside is getting a run, and there it goes down. Oh, shoot, too close, and that's what happens when you side suck without being clear.
Oh man, the 81 on Mark Jorgensen Jr. catching the bad or the worst end of that. He went hard into the wall, but fortunately enough, everyone was able to avoid getting into him, because he was able to keep it into the wall. And right now he's headed down pit road to get some service or some damage fixed.
Yeah, and the 16 goes up and throw a block out there on Sean Bounty as Bounty tries to go 3 wide on him. You know, I'm not sure what that was for. It's way too early to be blocking this early in the race. They need to line up and see what's costing him. Is there that low line and just leaving him hanging because he's got nobody to help him.
But look at that, the 13 of Jason Kinzer's on the assistant, the 34 of Sean Bounty dumping the 16 of Gary Sheldon in the middle lane. Does Gary have friends? Let's see. The next truck in line behind him, closest to him, is the 97 of Jeremy Funk, who does seem to be falling back as well.
Yeah, and see that little throwing that block up there kind of hurt him, because that kind of moved all them lines to the outside. Bounty was lucky he got the 13 of Kinzer behind him, and I talked about Kinzer last week. Kinzer is hungry. He is like a dog after a bone. He wants to win one of these, and this guy has improved since last season to this season. If we would have Rookie of the Year, he probably would have been Rookie of the Year last year. So he's looking for his first win inside the race.
Oh yeah, right now he is showing that, but he has a 20 of Derek Walker taking it 3 wide on him with the help of the 90 of Dana Osborne trying to make the outside line work. So far, side dropping there into turn number 3, but the 90 of Osborne does not seem to have enough. They didn't get a good enough run. They have no choice but to fall back in line.
Yeah, you know, and that's the problem. You got 2 trucks in the middle and 2 trucks on the outside trying to pass. 20 trucks on the bottom line, so.
Oh yeah, that doesn't work out at all, because you know, the more trucks these guys have, or the more bunched up they are, the more momentum they have. So 2 versus 20, the 2 always goes down.
Yeah, they're trying to move, and we got the 4 car down there having a little bit of internet problem, so he may have to end up dropping out, which is going to kill Artie's momentum.
So the 20 of Walker gets a slingshot on the 20 of the 13 of Jason Kinsey, but has a 90 of Osborne right on his tail. They're making the outside line work. Let's see. And Davis right on the in car of the 90 of Dana Osborne, so we can watch him push. He's using that side draft, following the 20 of Walker closely. The 20 of Walker must make contact with 13 of Jason. Kinsey was able to keep it off each other.
Yeah, we got Rodney coming back up the middle again, trying to get up there with Dana and them. You know, that middle lane, they're trying to get around them, but they just can't get to run with 2 trucks. They need more trucks than that. Either that or Sean Downey on the high side.
And the 98 of Jeff Bigland was left out to dry on the outside line, but going back up front, the 34 of Bounty and the 13 of Kinzer both clear the inside line. They're now lapping the 81 of Mark Jorgensen Jr.
Yeah, we got Sean Bounty was able to pull down there, and this time Jason was able to follow him and go down there with him. So, you know, they got it, and Artie kind of, there he goes. It seems like every time the one truck gets behind another truck and gets that air off his nose, it wants to slide out on the corners. He was perfectly fine when he was leading that line, but now that he's behind somebody, you know, he is sliding out almost, and the 3 is right there with him, so we got to be careful.
Oh yeah, he is most likely just getting that bad air that's affecting that track negatively, but he's doing a great job so far keeping it together. There's a known of Roger Buff right beside him, all behind the 3 of Rodney Hooper on the outside line. Running the outside seems to be more bunched up on the inside.
Yeah, the bottom line is checking up now, you know, as the tires wear down, and they have to kind of ease it in there a little bit, you know, and Derek drops down, which is going to really slow that bottom line up as he's going to try to allow his teammates to slingshot around the outside there.
And we have some trucks further back. We have the 76 of Gene Collum out of the draft. Actually, well, he is in the draft. We have one driver going down pit road in front of him. That's the 5 of Thomas Labar going down pit road, this time by on lap number 36.
Well, you know, Thomas hasn't pitted since lap 19 laps ago, so he might be going down and topping it off. You know, he's only a lap down, so if he can get down there and get some gas, he can pick up them laps with a caution, or if it goes green, he can still pick up some laps, because everybody else may have to still end up going down pit lane.
Oh yeah, and also when I was watching him enter pit road, he decided to take a full tank of gas only and no tires whatsoever. So we just hope that it doesn't affect him at all.
Oh, we got one down on the apron. Nice save there. Who was that? The 13 truck. He's going to fall back, but he's going to be able to fall into the back of this and maybe be able to catch up to him.
Actually looks like he's in the brakes right now, downshifting that sucker, going down pit road this time by. Maybe he meant to do that.
Yeah, I'm thinking some of these guys are trying to short pit here, because it's been 10 laps since Jason was on pit lane. You know, so maybe they don't have enough fuel. Maybe this is their opportunity to go down and get it, because this will spread the field out. And if the field's spread out, then that means we're going to stay pretty much green flag racing.
Oh, absolutely right. Also 13 of Kinzer does the exact same strategy, but the exact same thing that the 5 of Thomas Labar did. Took a full tank of gas, or a splash of gas, and he got off pit road. And these 2 drivers have one thing in common. They took only gas, or 2 things in common. Took gas only and pitted solo, which is not the best thing.
And you know, and this is when the guys say, hey, you know, these guys are pitting here, so why don't we just line up and stop racing each other so hard, and line up and start making some distance, because you're going to have to go down pit road. So you really need to build the distance between you and them guys that pitted early, so when you do pit lane, you can get in there and out. You'll need less gas than they did, which means less of a stop.
And also right now I'm focused on the 125 of Rod Ronimus Sr., who is being pushed by the 82 of Daniel Harrington. And Dwayne, these guys just might be trying to save gas. They are in the draft range of the lead pack, but they are at the same time. Oh, we have some content up front. That did shuffle out the field. Let's see who was involved in that.
That was the 71 truck got around, but boy, he saved it right in the middle of the pack. Dave, I know there's not a caution, but you got to show that replay. Roger Bluff got on that wheel, and he saved it in the middle of the pack, which could have been ugly.
Oh man, that was definitely a nice save on his part. Oh my. I'm looking at it right now on my end, and that was another bad netcode incident. So far we've had 3 netcode incidents.
Yeah, and there's not too many times that you get sideways, third truck in the middle of a pack and can save it, and everybody else can get around you without wrecking.
Yeah, that was very impressive on these guys' parts, and also by the looks of it, it was the bad netcode between the 90 of Dana Osborne and the 71 of Roger Buff, and the 34 of Bounty had to jerk that wheel all the way to the right to avoid getting to the back of 71 of Buff, who did lose a lot of momentum all of a sudden. The 34 of Bounty did scrape that wall quite a bit, but he did do a great job avoiding making that incident worse than it was. And as we're back live, we do have a 3 of Rodney Wolford being pushed by the 90 of Dana Osborne. So far, these guys are actually just pretty much single file, because this field has been spread out a lot now because of it.
Yeah, they sure have. And, you know, we're getting in here and we're watching, and the guys are starting to set up for the pits, you know, and we've seen a lap car there that, you know, per rules, they need to go to the high side and let the leaders have the racing group, and they didn't. So it was pretty good checkup by the lead pack there not to take them out.
And also, Dwayne, right now I'm looking at my stats, and we did talk to the one of Artie Pedersen Jr. He said he does have, or he did have a strategy with his teammates, and actually pitted in 1 lap ago. He does have the 4 of Justin Levin pushing him as we speak, but these guys are only pushing 188 miles an hour because they're only a 2-truck pack. Compared to everybody else, and they're being caught by a big pack behind them, being led by the 3 of Wolford. Those are the leaders.
Yeah, and we've seen Jason Kinzer getting past now. He was one of the first trucks to go down pit lane. So if he can hang on to this lead pack here, when they go down pit lane, Jason's right there to be able to swing around the track and pick them up as they're coming out and be right back in the mix fighting for the win.
Yeah, and Kinzer does drop down behind the 71 of Roger Buff, and is able to hang on to that draft. We'll get a sneak of it. His next victim is the 99 of Christopher Berry, but he decides to stay high to get around him. They get around the car going off pit road. That's the 77 of Travis Stewart.
Yeah, and we're seeing them catch these guys that pitted early and come out, you know, and a lot of these guys, you notice, are by themselves, which we talked about earlier, Sean. When you go down pit lane, you need to have somebody with you. And because they didn't, they really have lost a lot of time on the field.
Yeah, their best bet is a caution at this point, but by the way things are going, Dwayne, we might not get a caution.
Yeah, and I was looking at Artie pit stop there. Artie took gas only, and only took him 1.2 seconds of gas, so he didn't need that much gas. You know, and everybody else is pretty much 17 to 19 laps since their last pit, so we should see pit lane get pretty busy here in a minute.
Yeah, and also we have a lot of drivers a lap down, just like you had mentioned, and right now in my stats it's showing 22 drivers on the lead lap of a 34 track field, so that is a lot of drivers a lap down or more.
Yeah, and look at that outside line there pulled by Jeremy Funk, the only Toyota that's up in this whole mix-up in the front. I mean, our next Toyota is way back in 22nd spot, but I mean, he come out of nowhere. He's got Rod Remus, and, you know, he is pretty much pulling this outside line, and they're leaving that bottom line down there. Ah, that's why they're going down pit road. There goes Dark Horse, down pit lane.
And that 97 of Jeremy Funk coming out of nowhere from 33rd place, 1 spot ahead of the last place truck, and is now in the race lead, but they split him 3 wide up front. They're being overtaken right now as we speak with the 125 of Rod Renma Sr., the 71 of Roger Buff, and the 13 of Kinzer.
Now remember, Rod Remus didn't pit with everybody else. You know, he was off sequence there, so now he's out here leading. And if you notice, the 13 truck is right there with him, so they're going to catch these guys about the time they come around the next time. And Rodney Wolford had a 16.9 second pit stop, and Derek Walker had 18. That's a terrible pit stop by them guys compared to Dana Osborne's only 1.6.
Oh, and Kenny Holderman is being shown with 13.1 seconds. Actually, Kenny Holderman decided to stay out. He does have 17 laps on his tires, so he did not pit in with his team. And right now he's being shown all the way back in 15th place with no draft. Oh, there we go.
The only bad thing about these guys staying out up here is that they don't have that many trucks. So if these guys that pitted early can get out there and team up with them, then they can pretty much go, because everybody's gone. We got Rod Reed's been 18 laps since he pitted. Roger Bluff 18 laps. Jeremy Funk 19 laps. You know, the first guy to pit is David Anderson. You know.
And also we have the 30 of Sawyer Ott exiting pit road as we speak with a pack in front of him, but there's quite a gap in between them. So he most likely will be losing that draft. It's with the 54 of Chris Akers, 88 of Mark A. Vega, the 66 of Bobby Tinch, and the 87 of Raymond Rittenauer.
Yeah, you know, these front three, they're building. They might be just wanting to stretch it as far as they can and then go in for just a splash, because right now they have a 40-second lead over the fourth place truck of Gary Champion.
Yeah, and stretching it might be the best way to do it, but at the same time it might not, because they might end up losing time if everyone else who just pitted in bunches up and ends up running them down.
Yeah, and we just heard Roger Bluff over the scanner tell Rod Remus that he was staying out. He was not pitting, he was staying out. So the 125 and the 71 plan on stretching this and trying to get to the end.
And right now the 125 senior, Ronima Senior, and the 71 of Buff both have 19 laps on their tires. Well, that's just now 20. And 97 of Jeremy Funk and the 16 of Gary Champion have 21 and 18.
Roger Bluff just hollered it. He's only got 3 laps left, so they're fixing to give up that lead. And right now they currently have 32-second lead over Rodney and the rest of the Dark Horse trying to get up there to them. So this is going to be interesting to watch them go down pit lane, splash, and try to get out about the time they catch them.
Yeah, and actually these guys are catching up to a pack in front of them, so they just might benefit from that draft. That's Chris Akers, the 1 of Artie Pedersen Jr., the 4 of Justin Levin, who just made a swap, 88 of Vega, 66 of Bobby Tinch, and the 87 of Raymond Rittenauer. These guys are hooked up, trying their best to get bunched up to avoid being lapped by the leaders before they go down pit road. Actually, these guys already pitted, so it won't affect them too much.
Yeah, you know, and I'm actually looking across the track, you know, as Roger Bluff just called out that they're going lap after this, so they're next time by they'll be pulling in. We got Dana and their group going into turn 4 while the lead pack is coming into turn 3, so you know they're not that far ahead of them.
Oh no, they're not, and actually they are double foul as we speak. And this is actually the best way to go at a super speedway, because that side draft does give them more speed compared to single file racing here on iRacing.
Yeah, and what I'm afraid of is the 125, the 71, and the 97, which I think the 97 just ducked off, so the 125 and the 71 is going to be going down pit lane by themselves. So when they come out, they're going to have to stay latched. One little mistake by either one of them drivers, and they're going to have to come off pit lane by their lonesome.
Also, Jason Kinzer right now side by side with them, being pushed by the 5 of Thomas Labar. And these guys trying to get their laps back. The 5 of Labar is 2 laps down, while the 13 of Kinzer is 1 lap down. He did pit in alone, so that actually both drivers pitted in alone, and they were able to find each other, so they'll both be getting 1 lap back once these guys pit in.
Yeah, and there's a big old gap between the 125 and the 71 going down pit road. Remus is getting it underneath there, so they need to close it up.
They were able to get down pit road nice and smooth, but the 125 of Ronnie Massini almost misses that pit stop, but he was able to slow it down in time. It's one of Roger Buff headed down to his pit stop.
Yeah, and they're coming out, and I'm still showing them, you know, about 30-second lead over Dana and them. So they're coming off pit lane, and Dana and them is coming out of, looks like 3 or 4.
Oh, look at that, Dwayne. The 125 of Ronnie Sr. had a 1.9 seconds, 1.9 second pit stop. Oh, the 71 of Buff almost comes up onto the track into traffic, almost gets hit. Was able to get off the track in time. That was an accident on his part. Didn't mean to do that.
Yeah, well, that's old tires. That's what happens when you got old tires. You come out there and look, they're going to pass him up. Remus needs to get up to speed and be able to drop in behind this group to have a chance.
Yeah, since he didn't take any tires, he was in first gear. That rear end came around and moved him up onto the racetrack, but he was able to hang on to it and able to get down below that yellow line before they got to him. So that was definitely some great driving, but he does with the 97 of Jeremy Funk, picking him up as we speak.
Yeah, and that's what we talked about. Remus come out because Roger had that problem exiting, but.
And the 71 of Roger Buff drifts high to push the 97 of Jeremy Funk. They do a swap exiting turn 4. And right now they have a lot of work to do because the 97 of Funk and the 71 of Roger Buff lost a lot of time.
Yeah, and Sean Bounty's pulling, and he has Matt Quick on the outside up here. They're going to take over the leader there, and they're going to put 10. You know, Remus is 2 seconds behind him, so that kind of messed him up. And Jeremy Funk didn't stayed out. He's 11 seconds, so it didn't really help him to stay out and stretch that fuel that far.
And also the 89 of Matthew Quick trying to redeem himself after last week, almost bringing it home, but wasn't able to because he did run out of gas, exiting turn number 2 on the back stretch on the white flag, which was the worst time to run out of gas. And he has a 20 of Walker looking to his outside line, but Derek Walker does seem to have a little bit of damage on the hood.
Yeah, and you know, we got them staying low down there, and all they're trying to do is pass these lap cars and keep smooth, you know, as we have them coming up on the back of Kenny Holderman and a couple other ones.
And Dwayne, their best bet right now is to try and use those lap cars, to use their draft, to try and increase the lead that they have over everybody else. Maybe if they slow down and pick those lap cars up, or maybe if they just slingshot past them, it's going to do them good either way.
Did you see Rodney push Dana Osborne through that corner? Man, talk about dirt tracking it through that corner.
Yeah, he gave him a bump of a lifetime, caught him a little bit loose, but fortunately he was able to hang on to it at 200 miles an hour.
Yeah, Matt Quick the same way. He is pushing Sean Bounty in there. I mean, they are up on him. I think they probably took some tape off in them pit stops because the way they're pushing them, man, I'm talking they're pushing them through the corner sideways.
And that 3 of Wooford and the 90 of Osborne decide to make a swap here on the back straightaway. They do it successfully, but the 90 of Osborne is trying his best to now catch up to the 3 of Wooford. He's trying to fall in line behind the 20 of Walker, trying to use his run to get up to the 3 of Wooford.
Yeah, now that was a nice textbook way of moving it. Rodney was running hot. Rodney had to get to the front of Dana, and instead of trying to go to the outside, he just drops down where Dana can still use that side drive to keep him up there, and was able to pull up, and now he's pulling Dana on the outside. And I guarantee you, Matthew Walzenbach is in Barbados, sipping an umbrella drink, cheering his teammate Sean Bounty on right now. But I hate to say it, Sean Bounty is out by himself. He might as well be a cat with all the dogs behind him chasing him.
Well, the good thing, Dwayne, is that the 34 of Sean Bounty and the 89 of Matthew Quick are nowhere. Well, the 89 of Quick does not have his teammate anywhere close to him. That's Raymond Ritt now. He is being shown 11 seconds behind him. So both the 34 of Bounty and the 89 of Quick don't have teammates. So their best bet right now is to try and work together against the other team.
Yeah, and what we have is on the outside, I'll call it out for you, we have the 3 and the 90, which are Dark Horse teammates. Down on the bottom, we have Sean Bounty by himself, Matthew Quick by himself. 20 is Dark Horse Racing, Derek Walker, and then we had a 43 and Jeff Biglin in the 98. They are our teammates. So, you know, we have 2 non-teammates pulling that bottom line, and everybody else is going to be teaming up to each other.
And also, unfortunately, we lost a couple of drivers. The 13 of Kinzer was one of those, the 9 of Kenny Holderman, and also the 73 of Mark Brown. That was very unfortunate for these guys, but we do look forward to seeing them next week at Daytona. And going back up front, these leaders are coming up to a slow truck. That is the, looks like it's the 18. If I get the number on that truck, it's the 18 of Gary Champion.
Yeah, you know, and if I had a choice of a truck that I could jump in and drive right now, I'd have to say I'd want the 43. Just for the simple fact that they are close enough that they can reel them in, but at the same time avoid anything if there's an issue that goes on, as we see Rodney drop down in front of the 34, Sean Bounty, which is not good news for Bounty because now we have Dark Horse controlling the lines.
Yeah, and Dwayne Ryan, 43 of David Anderson, pulling the 98 of Jeff Figland. These guys can actually get a slingshot on these two lanes and make the outside line work, get past them, but they do have to time it right on the last lap.
Yeah, and I bet Sean Bounty is trying his hardest to get off that 3 trucks bumper and get to the outside, because if he can get up in front of Quick, they can. Both of them are wall huggers, and they will get up there and run that 3rd line up top. There he goes. Oh, caution. We got a caution somewhere.
Oh man, I was just about to say
that's going to end the race.
Yeah, that was going to be the 2 lap to go mark, but that caution does definitely change things. We are going to end under caution. Let's see who was involved.
We got the 1 truck got loose, so let's see if we can find it while everybody goes around and levels out.
Oh, actually, looks like it might have involved a some of Raymond Rittenauer. Yep, 1 truck was involved in 99 of Justin Berry. So yeah, let's focus on the 1 of Artie Pedersen, just so we can see what happened.
Yeah, the 1 truck come around there, and the 99 kind of pushed him a little bit, and he got loose and went on up to the top. So yeah, that's a shame it happened that way. It looks like Dana Osborne's going to pull off another win here with Rodney and Dark Horse coming 1, 2, 3 in this, which is very upsetting for Figlin and Anderson, because they were making them move.
Oh yeah, I'm sure they're not going to be happy about that, because man, that was going to be quite the finish of a lifetime right there. But that was unfortunate for the 1 of Artie Pedersen going around like that, and that was most likely because of him only taking gas only and no tires, and this track time being so high, it didn't do him any favor.
No, it didn't, and I know they're upset hitting that steering wheel and throwing whatever they can throw inside that cab of that truck, because man, they were making that move up there, and Sean Bounty and Matthew Quick was setting up to make the move on the outside, so we was probably going to be looking at a 3-wide finish here.
And because of that, the 1 of Artie Pedersen was bumped down to 14th place. He actually started in 28th, so he did gain 14 spots overall, finishing in 14th place. That was very, very impressive on his part after deciding not to qualify, after not getting a chance to qualify. Then some of Jeremy Funk, 11th place. The 4 of Justin Levine in 12th place. Dana Osborne in the 90. The 3 of Wooford. The 20 of Derek Walker. 1, 2, 3. And these guys actually were in the top 5 in last week's race as well.
Yep, Dark Horse ended up pulling it off again and getting up in there, and it looked like we were going to have Sean Bounty get his first win of the season. And Matthew Quick, he's been having some bad luck. Same thing with him, man. I know Figlin and them were ready to go.
Oh, I'm not sure what's happened, but the 90 of Dana Osborne is stopped on the apron exiting turn.
Well, that's because the pace car is behind them. You know, Jeff Bodine's driving that thing, and he is going slow as Christmas. So they're waiting on the pace car, because iRacing will black flag them if they don't let that pace car get in front of them.
Oh, copy that. Yeah, the pace car right now is into turns 3 and 4. We're actually approaching turn number 4 as we speak, while these top 3 drivers are coasting at 40 miles an hour on the apron exiting turn number 4. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to interview the top 3 finishers, the 90 of Dana Osborne, the 3 of Rodney Wooford, and the 20 of Derek Walker.
Yep, if you want to go to a commercial break there, Dave, while we get all this sorted out, we're still waiting on the pace car to pick up the front 3 right here.
Alright, I got all 3 of them up here. Dana, make us proud of some smoke, please.
You what?
I was saying, make us proud. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Acrylic Art Super Speedway Series, or Super Speedway Track Series here with the Cyber Racing Association. We do have our top 3 finishes: the 90 of Dana Osborne in first place, the 3 of Rodney Wolford in second place, and the 20 of Derek Walker in third place tonight. We are about to see a smoke show here shortly from the 90 of Dana Osborne, our race winner.
Derek's got his mic muted, so we can't talk to him. He's pretty pissed. You know, I don't know why. The guy wins enough races. He can handle a third place finish every now and then.
As that 9.
There he is. There it is. All right. I mean, he was giving me that Tony Stewart look when I stuck a microphone in his face. So, Derek brought it home third. You know, last night you picked up a win out there on the iRacing portal, and tonight you come over here and get third place. So you're having a pretty good weekend so far.
Yeah, sorry about that. I didn't even realize it was muted. I kept seeing names popping up there in the corner and couldn't hear anybody. So sorry about that. But yeah, it's been a good weekend so far. Hopefully next week will be the same way. But tonight was a lot of fun. I just kind of laid back and tried to avoid all the wrecks. Didn't do a great job at it, but we got through.
Yeah, well, it's going to be an interesting finish there, as we had Dave Anderson and Jeff Figlin was working together, and, you know, Sean Bowney and Matt Quick was working, so it was going to be an interesting finish there if that yellow didn't come out. But, you know, great job on keeping it clean and getting it up to the front there.
Yeah, appreciate it. Would like to have kept it a little cleaner, but that's all right. We got there. So, but a big congrats to Dana on the win, and Rodney up front there. It was a good run. I didn't really know how that was going to play out. I would have loved to have seen it go green, kind of like it did last night, and have a good race. But no, Dana drove a good race, and so did Rodney. So good job to both of them.
Yeah, you really kind of have to run a smart race here and just go from there. You know, Sean, I see you caught up down there with, you know, it's kind of weird saying second place driver, but yeah, Rodney Wolford in second place.
Wofford?
I didn't sign
Wolf,
Rodney.
Wolf.
I didn't sign Rodney.
I'm doing pretty good, besides having a little cold. Other than that, doing all right.
Well, Rodney, tonight you did finish here in second place. Last week you did bring it home. Well, we've seen you win races. We've seen you fly. What can't you do?
I can't do it all. That's for one. that's pretty much what I know. I can't do it all, you know.
and 4. Well, Rodney, tonight, yeah, you started in third place, finishing in second place, gaining 1 spot. Overall, was able to avoid trouble. Was able to pull off those green flag pit stops that we had. Actually, Rodney, tell us about your green flag pit stops tonight.
Went as expected. Didn't overshoot. Didn't do nothing crazy. Didn't have any mishaps. I think only one person that came in got off a little slow, but we got grouped up pretty quick and did pretty well. You know, did a little bit of adjusting to make sure it was good on the long run after that green flag stop to not get too tight. I think some other people forgot to do that, and they got extremely tight and was starting to burn their tires off. But other than that, you know, we did a real good job on the green flag pits. I'm actually thinking of, you know, might need to implement something else. Have my crew put a gallon less in there, give a little more challenge or something to my teammates. They need to learn to not slide the tires so much and spin them so bad on pit exit and come up the track, you know, take out the entire field. Definitely don't want to Kevin LePage, but I mean, it was great. We had some good racing, we had good battling, you know, we had some twitching, but other than that, it was real good, man. I enjoyed it. I always had fun. It was a blast.
Oh, 10-4, and yeah, that was very unfortunate for the 81 of Mark Jorgensen. He ended up spinning those tires on exit of pit road. Was that the 71? I believe actually it was 71 of Roger Buff, who ended up spinning those tires and almost washed up onto the track. But that was definitely some great driving on you guys' parts, being able to get around him. And Rodney, we had the one of Artie Pedersen. He was very, very loose tonight. Did you guys have any trouble? Because entering turn 3 didn't seem to be the best turn for you guys.
For me, it was fine. I did some wedge adjustments and a little bit of tire pressure when needed. It was just on old tires here, and with the base that I've got that's like 2 years old that I'm running with, because I feel that it's still confident enough and obviously still good enough. We went first, second, third. Dana got a win. Congratulations to him. I got a P2 and a P3. So other than that, it was fine. Being on the loose side, it's good. If you can wheel it, that's good. I'll try that set out any day, see how it is. I was on the tight side, but you know, with 2-year-old base, I can't complain with that. And you know, the conditions are different when you get into the race most of the time than from when you're practicing. So other than that, you know, I might, if I get another base, we'll tweak it. But I did lose all that. The crew chief is fired over that one.
Hey, Rodney, our Dark Horse got any plans to rent a track and do some practice, being we're going to Daytona 07 for the first time in the trucks next week?
Yeah, sure. Starting out at like, I don't know, it's either 20 or 30 an hour. I can show whole yellow line, you know, that yeller. I can show you how to do that. And
can you show Jorgensen how not to follow the car he's pushing down to the bottom?
Yeah, that's another good one. Yeah, eye fixation, I can do that too. I might have to add another $10 on that one for sure. That eye fixation's a big thing, you know that firsthand, Dwayne. But yeah, for sure, I don't know what he was doing there. I saw him up in the wall, and he held it there. That's a great example, though. He did an awesome job keeping it up in the wall. We stayed green. That's what you want to do. It's, you know, when you get up in that wall, you get glued to it. You know, the magnet effect, whatever you want to call it, you just get stuck to it. And once you finally get it off there, you're going to come off of it by quite a bit, more than a half a truck from the wall. And, you know, like certain people, you could be tight, loose, you're going to hit them, whatever it may be, pit exit, you know, Kevin LePage, by whoever, just a little throttle control, whatever. But yeah, that eye fixation definitely needs some working. Junior there, my son, I don't know, I might send him off to military school this time for sure. He's starting to really get on my nerves.
Rodney, we're going to let you go as we talk to the winner who just pulled his AC/DC number 90 truck in the victory lane here. Well, Dana, you racked one up, got you a win here, bud. Good move.
I appreciate it, man. If it weren't for Rodney and Derek there, man, I'd never got that, you know.
Well, yeah, you can get him the glory, but, you know, truth of the matter is, Dana, if you don't make that move when you made that move, you know, and that yellow come out, you're just, like them, you're just following the leader.
I have to agree, man, but I do appreciate Derek for sticking with me. I appreciate that Dark Horse for letting me run with him, you know. It's Rodney's the one that's a setup, man, you know.
Yeah, next week we go to 07 with a iRacing fix that, so you know that should be interesting there, because some of these guys gonna have to learn that super speedway that you gotta ease off that pedal and throttle, and like I was telling Sean earlier in the race, they're gonna have to put eggs underneath their feet next week, because that is one bumpy track.
Yes, sir. I mean, that's my kind of racing right there, 07, you know.
Yeah, that's like me. I love 07 just because of the bumps, and you know, you don't have to floorboard it all the time. You actually have to play with that throttle. But Dana, you got anybody you want to thank besides Rodney and his boys for pushing?
I want to thank you guys for doing what you do, and you, Dwayne, for putting on this league, and appreciate you for letting me run in it, you know, and to everybody, I guess, that runs in this league.
Well, we're glad to have you over here today, and you're a caliber driver. I've raced with you in other leagues, and you know, you're one of the better drivers, and you're also one of the nicest guys I've ever raced with. Them other ones, they get pretty nutty when they get wrecked or something, you know. But you always keep pretty level head about yourself, so.
Yeah, I've learned to do that over the years. You know, it's really not worth it to, you know, get into it with anybody, because it ain't gonna do no good, you know.
Yeah, it's not like that $15 that you're gonna pocket for winning the race tonight is gonna go pay your electric bill or anything. You know, it might pay another month of iRacing, but that's about it. So I mean, you got to just look at it that way. You're gonna win some, you're gonna lose some, and Dana, I can't say I'm happier to see anybody in victory lane here besides you. You're a stand-up guy.
I appreciate you, man.
Well, Sean, kick it back up there and let you wrap it up.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that does sum up or round up all the top 3 interviews. The 90 of Dana Osborne in first place, the 3 of Rodney Wolford in second place, the 20 of Derek Walker in third. And yeah, Dwayne, you're right, man. If that caution didn't come out, that was gonna be a whole different story, because we did have a pack of hungry lions behind these guys. The 34 of Sean Bounty, the 43 of David Anderson, the 89 of Matthew Quick, and the 98 of Jeff Figland. You know, these guys had something up their sleeve for that last lap, and unfortunately, that caution had come out like that and pretty much end it a different way. But other than that, it was still an amazing race. We saw some green flag pit stops. We saw a lot of guys short pitting, a lot of guys go a lap down because of difference in pit strategy, and that didn't quite work out because a bad day on pit road is a bad night at the race for the finish. Eduardo Jorgensen Jr. ended up having an early night after getting into that wall, make some contact up front, but was able to keep it off of everybody, which was an amazing job on his part. And once again, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us tonight for race number 4 of the Super Truck Acrylic Art Super Truck Series here with the Cyber Racing Association. And before we leave, Dwayne, any final words?
I just want to say, hey, I appreciate everybody coming out and watching us, and Dave behind the cameras, you know, he don't get a lot of pats on the back because we don't mention him much, but Dave does a lot of work in his graphics and all that, building this network up to one of the top ones on iRacing. So, you know, even though he can't spell network on his YouTube channel, but, you know, Dave does a lot of work behind it. And Sean, you're one of the top play-by-play announcers, so it's a privilege to be up in the booth working with you guys each week. And I'm glad you know, not only broadcast us, but you do a stream motorsports and a couple other leagues that I'm sure that you'll go into before we get off the air. But next week, it is going to be one bumpy race at Daytona 07.
Oh yeah, Daytona 2007. Something tells me, Dwayne, that Daytona 2007 is not all about draft. It's about holding your line in order to be able to make it.
Well, yeah, you have to play with the throttle. You can't go in there because if you stay on the bottom, it is going to bounce you out of there. So if you're riding that yellow, it's going to bounce you out. So you really got to play with the throttle going into the corners and coming off the corners. And, you know, it's really not just the normal Talladega or Daytona where you just hold it down, close your eyes, and just, you know, hope that you're pushing the truck in front of you. This one, you really have to work at it to make that win.
Oh, absolutely. So it's going to be interesting to see some green flag pit stops and just pretty much how everybody handles those bumps. And Dwayne, I'm pretty sure those guys are going to have a massage of their lifetime with their hands because it's going to be quite a handful.
Yep. And I'm out of here. You know, I'm happier than chicken nuggets and McDonald's. So I'll catch you guys next week.
And once again, ladies and gentlemen, that was Dwayne Cooper. And next week we will be at Daytona 2007, which is very bumpy. And our next broadcast is tomorrow night with the Precision Racing League for the Outback 150 at Pocono Raceway. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, I am Sean Zulu. I was joined by Dwayne Cooper and Dave Everly behind the cameras. And have a good night.
Don't let your first date be your last. Visit People Against Distracted Driving at PADD.org.